PV equal to MRT, where P is the pressure, V is the volume, pressure is in Newton per meter square, let us say, volume is in meter cube, M is the mass, R is the gas constant, not universal gas constant. It is the gas constant of a gas, particular gas, of the gas. It is not universal. And T is equals to absolute temperature in Kelvin. In Kelvin, then this will be kilojoules per kilomole Kelvin. Okay, so mass will be in, let us say, kilojoule, right? Newton meter. It should be kilojoule, mole, let us say. Now, sorry, mass is in kg, not molecular. Mass is in kg. Now this equation I can also rewrite as P small v is equals to RT. What is small v here? What is small v here? Specific volume. So that is defined as volume per mass, that is meter cube per kg. Here also R is called gas constant. If I want to write this equation of state in terms of universal gas constant, P small v is equals to R universal by mass into time. Now this is called universal gas constant. Universal gas constant. This value equal to 8.314 kilojoules per kilomole Kelvin. And what about M here? What about M here? Molar mass or molecular mass. Molecular mass. Agree? Yes. You might have used this equation. PV is equals to NTR in your school days. Can anyone remember this? NRT or NTR?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes.
Yes,
Now,
sir.
but I am using MRT instead of NRT. Why? Are both same, M and M? NRT or NTR? NRT. Now I am using PV is equals to MRT. This M and N are same?
No, sir.
No. Very good. Yeah, can you tell me where it is exactly? What is R here in NRT?
Ideal gas constant.
This is the universal gas constant.
Universal.
This is universal gas constant because this equation is derived from MRT only. This equation is derived from MRT only. I'll tell you how to do that. Usually, can you see the screen? PV is equals to M into R into T. This is not universal gas constant, right? So this one I can also written as M into R universal by molecular mass into T. Can I write?
Yes, sir.
Yes, right. Now, so I can also write as M by capital M into R naught into T. Is it is okay? Right now?
Yes, sir.
Just instead of R naught by M, M by M written. So we know that according to Avogadro's law, small m is equals to N into M. This N may be capital or small, right? Where M is the mass, mole number, molar mass, right? So small m by capital M what can I write? Small m by capital M is
N.
equals to N. This is N into R naught into T. So this is PV equal to, this is another way of ideal gas equation. So in NRT, R is universal gas constant. In NRT, R is universal gas constant. In MRT, R is just gas constant of a particular gas. Did you got clarity between all these things? While solving the problem, these things are very, very important. When you should use NRT, when you should use MRT. I think I am clear. Yes?
Yes, sir.
Please answer me. If you have any doubt,
Yes,
also
sir.
I can explain. Right now. So these are the different ways of representing the idea equation of state. Whenever I am writing MRT, R is that particular gas. Whenever I am writing nRT, R is the universal gas constant. How you got? This is the way I explained. Clear now? Right. Okay. This problem is over. Now, coming to the next one, Dalton's law. You already studied about partial volumes and partial pressures, right? So Dalton's law is about the partial pressure. So what Dalton's law said that the total pressure equal to sum of the individual pressures of individual molecules, sum of the pressures of individual molecules. So let us consider a gas consists of two in components, let us say A and B, right? So that pressure of A is Pa, pressure of gas B is Pb, then the total pressure is equal to Pa plus Pb, right? Very simple, right? So the total pressure equal to sum of the pressures of individual components. The pressure of a gas mixer is equal to sum of the pressures of each gas would exert if exist alone at same mixture pressure, sorry, same mixture temperature and volume. If it occupies same volume and temperature, okay, that is the condition. So the total pressure equal to sum of the pressures of each gas would exert if it existed alone at the mixture temperature and volume. Means in all the three cases here you see volume is V, temperature is T, right? So the mixture volume is V, mixture temperature is T. Now this total volume is occupied by only pressure A at the temperature T, then that is called pressure of A, and the same thing is occupied by the gas B, this is Pb, then the total pressure equal to Pa plus Pb, right? So in the same way, we have for partial volumes also, that is Amagat and Leduc law. In the same way, Dalton's law discussed about the pressures, and whereas Amagat law discussed about volumes, right? The total volume is equals to sum of the individual components volume if it exists at the same pressure and temperature. Because here we are discussing about volume, therefore pressure and temperature should be maintained constant. Whereas here in partial pressures, volume and temperature need to be maintained constant. Okay, so this is Amagat law, Leduc law, and here also the same way. V mixture equal to sum of the components mixture. Let us assume in a mixture there are k components are there. V total is equals to V1 plus V2 plus V3 and so on Vk, where k equal to number of components of a mixture. Number of components of a mixture. Okay, so this law is only valid for the ideal gases. Partial, even Dalton's law as well as Amagat law, these laws are valid only for the ideal gas equation, ideal gases only, right? So the statement, as I told, for a mixture of non-reacting ideal gases, the total volume of the mixture equal to sum of the partial volumes of individual components at same pressure and temperature. Okay, where V mix is the mixture of the ideal gas, volume of the ideal gas of total mixture, K is the last component of the mixture, Va is the volume of the ith component. Okay, we'll see small problem over this. Right, now you can see here the equation I am using, PV is equals to N into R into T. What is R here? Tell me. If I use nRT, what is the value of R?
Universal gas
Yeah,
constant. And
8.31 for universal gas constant, kilojoules per kilomole Kelvin, or joules per mole Kelvin. Same, because kilo will be cancelled. If you want to write joule per mole Kelvin. If you want to write in the kilojoule per kilomole Kelvin. Okay, right. So coming to the question, 50 moles of oxygen, number of moles of oxygen is 50, is mixed with 190 moles of nitrogen at standard atmospheric temperature and pressure. Okay, so the values are, standard temperature is 298 and pressure is 105 Pascal. Okay, calculate the total volume of the mixture by using Amagat's law. Amagat's law is for partial volumes. Amagat law is for partial volume, right? Now, so means we can calculate individual volumes, right? So from this equation, we can write V is equals to nRT by P, where equal to mole number of the component, and R is the universal gas constant, absolute temperature and pressure, right? So first we will calculate partial volume of the oxygen. Nothing but some textbooks they use small n, some textbooks they will use capital N. Don't get confused, both are same, small n and capital N. So V oxygen equal to moles of the oxygen. This is constant, temperature is given ST80, that is 298.15 Kelvin. If you subtract 273.15, you will get the room temperature, that is 25 degrees centigrade. Okay, and P is the pressure given. So right, so 105 kilopascal is given, right? So 105 kilopascal, right? So 105, sorry, Pascal. What is one Pascal? 105 into, what is 1 Pascal? 1 Newton per meter square. 1 Newton per meter square. Okay, so after converting, it will become 1 bar, we can say 1 into 10 power 5 Pascal, like that we can say, right? So 50 is the number of moles of oxygen. This is the universal gas constant. This is the temperature given at SATP condition, and this is the pressure given. If you substitute, you will get volume of the partial volume of the oxygen, and in the same way you will get partial volume of the nitrogen. Once you know partial volumes of the components, now you will get the mixture volume by adding these two, volume of the oxygen plus volume of the nitrogen. Is it clear?
Sir, if they give mass
Yes.
in the question instead of moles, we should
You,
use P equal
yeah,
to MR.
yeah. If mass is given, you should use PV equal to MRT.
Then they'll give R gas constant of
At that time, R you should calculate by R naught by M. What is for M? Let us say oxygen O2 is given, right? So for O2, what is this value? 32.
32.
32 is M. For N2, what is M? N2 747 14 28.
Yes.
For nitrogen, it is molecular mass is 28 molar mass. Like that we can do. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Right? Right. This is just simple problem. Only I want to stress upon NRT and MRT. I already discussed that.
Yes, sir.
Don't think that it is wrong. It is M. It is N only. N indicates the moles. At that time, R will become universal gas constant. Okay. Next, last problem of this unit. Now, listen very carefully. So, is somebody unmuted? Please mute yourself. We are getting disturbance. Muted, right? Right. The air consists of different elements. Let us say in that oxygen is 20%, nitrogen is 79%, vapor, water vapor is 99, and remaining is the carbon dioxide. There are 4 components or 4 elements are there in a mixture of air. Okay, oxygen 20% means 20 by 100, so that is nothing but 0.2. Okay, and so these are nothing but the, what is this 0.2? 20% is given. This is the mole fraction. Okay, na? I'll tell you. Okay, no problem. Right? And the pressure is the pressure of the mixture is given, and calculate the partial pressures of each component. Partial pressures means you should use Dalton's law. Whenever partial pressure is given, Dalton's law. Whenever partial volumes is given, you should use Amagat law. Right now, so total pressure is given 101 kilopascal. Okay, even if you see, no one asked doubt, right? Anyone is having doubt in this problem? Some flaw is there? Can anyone tell me? No one is asking. I'm waiting for that actually.
Which problem, sir?
This problem. Can you see this previous problem on the screen?
Yes, sir. It's
Yeah.
little.
Yeah.
Give
Why it is
equal
10
value
power
105.
5? Why it is 10 power 5? No one is asked. Simply
105
blind.
into
Do
10.
that conversion, sir.
Huh?
Meter by meter is equal to
Actually,
105.
listen. This is 105 kilopascal. 105 Pascal is 105 Newton per meter square. 105 kilopascal it is. Kilo means 10 power 5. And if I can write 105 into 10 power 3. 1 Pascal is 1 Newton per meter square. And I can also write 1.05 into 10 power 5 Newton per meter square. Actually, it is kilopascal, but they mentioned Pascal. Okay. That's why he took 10 power 5. Got it? You should ask these
Okay,
doubts. Don't think that it is silly doubt. Maybe it is silly doubt. It may be a big meaning in that. Okay, so don't think that somebody what others will see if there is small doubt. Even though it is small doubt, though it is unit conversion, please ask me. Don't hesitate to ask any doubt, any type of doubt. I am ready to explain for you. Okay.
Okay, sir.
And that too, one more advantage is you are not attending physically. No one will see you. You can ask any type of doubt you are getting during the class. Right. Now, here, atmospheric pressure is given 101 kilopascal. I can also write 1 into 10 power 5 Newton per meter square. Nothing but this is 1 bar. 101 kilopascal is nothing but 1 bar. Okay, and mole fractions are also given. Mole fraction symbol we are using Y. Okay, oxygen, nitrogen, hydrogen, and water vapor and carbon dioxide. So that is 20% means 0.2, and 79 and 99% and 0.01%. Okay, now once you know mole fraction, I want individual pressures, right? I want individual pressures. As we know, PV is equals to PV capital V, sorry, not small v. PV is equals to nRT, and if suffix mixture, P mixture and N mixture. Okay, P mixture, N mixture. Okay, similarly for one component, PIV equal to NIRT. If you divide these two, what you will get? PI by P mixture. PI by P mixture is equals to NI by N mixture. So what is the meaning of this one? Mole of individual component to the mole of the mixture is nothing but mole fraction Y. Got it? Mole of individual component to the mole of the mixture. Number of mole of individual component to the number of moles of mixture is nothing but mole fraction. That is also equal to individual pressure to the individual total mixture, right? So this is the formula I am going to use here. So Y is equals to partial pressure of individual component to the pressure of the mixture. So from that I am calculating partial pressure of oxygen, nitrogen, and carbon dioxide. Okay, and then water vapor also in the next, that is, so that I can calculate. I required only partial pressures only. This is clear? This is the interpretation of mole fraction in terms of pressure ratio.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, if from this, if you want PI also we can write. So PI is equals to Y into P mix. P mix is given nothing but pressure of the mixture, and Y you know individual moles, mole fraction, and individual pressure we can calculate by multiplying with the pressure. That's it. With this our first unit is completed. Okay. Anyone is having any doubt in this first unit? Tell me. This is the basic unit, so that the coming units will become easy. Any topic, if you have any doubt, please ask me. I'll explain, or else I will go to the second unit. Please tell me. I'm going to the first slides. Are you able to see the slides?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
We can
sir.
see the slide.
Yeah. Please tell me if you have any doubt anywhere.
No, sir.
Yeah. This is the first slide actually. From dimensions we started. No doubt means I'll go to next topic. Okay.
Sir, can you send the notes?
Yeah, that's what I'll share. PPT, total PPT, and I already said 2 textbooks, preference textbooks. From that only you can prepare the notes. Okay. See, because my writing is somewhat, somebody can understand my writing, somebody cannot, right? So in textbooks only I'll divide unit wise and I'll send you. Okay, whichever is relevant to us, you can study from that.
Okay, sir.
Okay, na? Right.
Sir, can you send this PPT, sir?
Yeah, PPT. Yeah, PPT today I'll send because I completed all. And
Okay.
PPT.
Sir,
Now, tell me.
You already sent the PPT.
Yeah, PPT. Maybe I added some extra thing at the end. Okay, you can remove that, and whatever I will send today, you can keep that.
Sir,
You can. Tell me.
you are recording these sections, no, sir?
I am sharing
Wait.
every day. I am sharing every day in the WhatsApp group. Are you getting or not? Tell me. TD group.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, suppose let us say if you don't get also, I will share the YouTube channel of mine. You can subscribe so that you will get the alerts when I'm updating the thing.
Okay, sir.
Okay, na?
Okay, sir.
Next, any doubts? I think still some of them are not there in the TD group. I don't know what is the reason. Around 65 students are there till now also. Those who are not getting means they are not in the group. Please text me personally so that I'll send the link to them so that they can join in that group. Subject related content I'll share in the TD group only, not in the ME 2019-23 batch, because everyone will be there. They will get disturbed. That's why I created one personal group for TD.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. If anybody is not there in TD group, message me personally. I'll add them. Right. Can I start this one? Just 15 minutes is there.
Okay, sir.
Okay, right. Now, our first unit, we discussed all basics of thermodynamics. Okay, what is system, what is boundary, what is surrounding, what are the different types of the system. Okay, what is state, what is process, path, what is next after that, what we discuss, what is equilibrium, what are different types of equilibrium, what is energy, right? And what are the different types of approaches to the thermodynamics, macroscopic approach, microscopic approach. Then we discussed about what we discussed after that, after equilibrium.
Same, sir. Macroscopic, microscopic approach. of
Macroscopic,
thermodynamics.
microscopic approach. Next, after that, phases, right? Yeah. What is homogeneous system? What is heterogeneous system? What is right? So these are all things we discussed in the first unit. Now coming to the second unit. So second unit basically discuss about first law of thermodynamics. In first unit we studied zeroth law of thermodynamics. Agree? In zeroth law of thermodynamics. In first unit also we studied ideal gas thermometer. Very, very important. I told already. Right now. And we also discussed absolute zero temperature. That is the maximum lowest temperature exists in the universe. Beyond this, it is very difficult, right? So this is the maximum temperature. Sorry, minimum temperature available in the universe, exist in the universe. What is that value? 0. What is absolute? Absolute zero temperature. Minus 273 Kelvin is the lowest temperature possible in the universe. At that temperature, there is no motion. The motion of the particle is set to the zero, vanish. The motion will be vanished, right? So that zeroth law we'll discuss in the first unit, and in the second unit we are discussing first law of the thermodynamics. Okay, right? As we know, we studied what is the thermodynamics. It is originated from the Greek words, right? That is therm, and therm means heat, and dynamics means the motion, right? So throughout this thermodynamics, we are discussing heat and its transformation, how the heat is converted into the energy, how the heat is converted into the work. So nothing but the movement of the heat we are discussing, right? The foundation of the thermodynamics is the conservation of energy, and the fact that heat will always flow from the hot body to the cold body. I discussed already in thermal equilibrium by taking the examples of hot coffee and cold cool drink. Yes or no, right? Always heat will flow from your body under high temperature to the body at lower temperature till both the bodies reach to the same temperature. When both the bodies are same temperature, no question of heat transfer, right? Now, because we can say that at that instant of time, thermal equilibrium is attained, right? It provides basic theory of the heat engines, right? Now, you might have studied about work, right? What is work? What is work? What is mean by work?
Force required to move
Force.
a object
Object.
certain
From one place to other.
Right. Right. If your body get displaced due to the application of the force, if your body gets displaced due to the application of the force, then we can say that the work is done by the force on the body. Agree? I'll repeat. When your body gets,
Yes, sir. Agree, sir.
yeah, when your body gets displaced due to the force acting on it, then we can say that the work is done by the force on the body, right? So you might have studied in physics or mechanics. Mechanics you are studying now, maybe you studied in physics also, okay, right? So therefore at that time I can say work is equals to magnitude of the force applied and the distance through which the body is moved, right? So for work done equal to force into displacement. Now you can see here we are let us assume initially the body is resting on a horizontal floor. Let a force of magnitude F Newton is applied on a body. Due to the force applied, let us say initially the body is at point A. Due to the force applied, the body gets displaced from its initial position A to B. During this travel, the body covered a distance S. Always we can measure distance from starting point to starting point or ending point to the ending point. You can measure like this. This is S, right? So according to definition, work done equal to force into displacement. So the magnitude of force is F and the displacement is S. The units are force is in Newton, displacement is in meter. Newton meter is the unit for the force. Clear? If you apply the force. Now, in which direction the work is done? Can anyone tell me in which direction the work is done?
Right side.
Means we can say that it is in the
Positive direction.
okay, it is in the horizontal direction because the force we are applying in the horizontal direction. If suppose let us consider a body, and we are applying the force in the inclined direction. Now we can see earlier the force is acting in the horizontal direction. Now the force is acting somewhat inclined direction, right? Now let us consider this is the horizontal plane. Now can you tell me what is the angle here?
Some theta.
Same angle, right? Now
Ah,
right now when for an inclined line, let us say if you draw horizontal lines, whatever the angle here, right now the same angle will be here also. Got it? Okay, now so this angle will be theta. Means whenever a force is inclined, that can be resolved into two components. You studied just now, means last week only, right? Whenever a force is inclined, it can be resolved into two components, right? So let us assume this is making an angle theta with the horizontal. I can resolve this force into two components. One component is along x direction, other component is along y direction, right? So let us say this is the x component of the force, this is the y component of the force, right? So blindly you can remember wherever the force is making an angle, that component will be cos, the other component will be sin. You might have studied in mechanics, right? Wherever theta is there, blindly that component is cos, other component is sin. Only magnitude part I am saying. Direction as usual you have to follow positive x, negative x, positive y, negative y, right? Now for work done, I don't want any direction, I want only magnitude. This is clear? F cos theta is along x direction, F sin theta is along y direction, because my force is making theta with horizontal direction. Now in this case, what is the work done? Now I can define work done in x direction because my force is inclined, and work done in y direction.
y direction.
Right now, so work done in x direction is nothing but the component of the force along x direction into displacement in x direction, displacement in x direction, and similarly the component of the force in y direction and displacement in y direction. Now tell me the roller or this trolley, let us assume trolley, right? So this trolley is on horizontal floor, right? Whether you apply the force along the horizontal direction or inclined direction, it will move only in x direction, yes or no? It cannot move
Yes,
up,
sir.
it cannot move upward direction. Along y direction, what is the displacement? Along the y direction, displacement will be 0 because it can move only in x direction. Along y direction, displacement is 0. Therefore along the y direction, the work done is 0. Only work done exists along x direction, that is f cos theta, and let us assume displacement is s, fs cos theta. Therefore resultant work is equals to work done in x direction, or under root x direction square plus y direction square, nothing but you will get the work done in x direction. Clear na? Work done. This is in physics or mechanics. Clear this thing? Please tell me anyone.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Right. Now, how to define work in our thermodynamics? Right. So in thermodynamics, we can define the work with respect to the system and surrounding. Right. So if you see all the thermodynamics thing, we'll study only with respect to system and surrounding. Right. If you take our classroom is the system, our corridor is the surrounding. Right. How the exchanging is taking place, how the heat is going to change, how the matter is going to exchange between the system and surrounding, we are going to study. Right. Now, work can be defined as the energy transferred because of a property difference that is other than temperature that exists between system and surrounding. Right. So if you see here, bracket I written, without the transfer of mass and with help of mechanism. See, there should not be any transfer of mass, only there should be by using mechanism, and that there should be energy transfer is there, but without the difference of temperature, other than the temperature difference, because if temperature difference is there, that is nothing but the heat, it's not work. Yes or no? Always heat will flow due to the temperature difference only, but work, as coming to the work, it is the energy transferred because of the property difference. That property should not be temperature, other than temperature, that may be pressure or volume or entropy or etc. Okay, so this is energy transferred without the transfer of the mass and with the help of the mechanism, by any mechanism is involved in that. Right. So because of the property difference that exists between the system and surrounding, that is called work in case of thermodynamics. So it is the energy transferred because of a property difference. That property should not be temperature, that exists between the system and surrounding, or simply we can define it is the energy transferred by the reasons other than the temperature difference. This is the thermodynamic work. Is it clear? It is the energy transferred because of the property difference. That property should not be temperature, but with help of some mechanism, and there should not be no mass exchange between the system and surrounding. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, you will get more clarity in coming slides. Right. Now we will see what is displacement work. Very simple. Right. Very easy also. Let us assume a gas contained inside a cylinder. A gas exists inside the cylinder, and this is the piston. This is the piston. Right. Let us assume, due to the presence of gas inside the cylinder, this gas will exert a uniform pressure P over the piston. P is the pressure exerted by the gas over the piston. Right. Due to the pressure exerted by the gas, the piston moved a small distance dx. So don't think that the dx is very large. For understanding sake, I mentioned very big. Let us assume the dx is very small, infinitesimally small, very small, infinitesimal distance, very small distance. Due to the application of the pressure P, let the piston is moved with a small distance dx. That is the main condition here. Right. So right, I'm assuming that the pressure is constant because uniform pressure is acting. Okay. Consider a piston cylinder with certain amount of gas. Let piston moves outwards through a small distance dx. Distance is very small. Even I can assume it as a zero, negligible. Okay, during a small interval of time. That's why I'm assuming that the pressure is the distance is very small. Therefore I can assume pressure as constant. So throughout the movement of the piston, the pressure is constant because the displacement is very small. Okay. Now, all right, what is when the piston moves, let us say there is some displacement is there, this gas is done some work over the piston. Agree? When the piston moves, then we can say that there is some work done by the gas over the piston. Agree? That work done, the distance is very small. Therefore I am writing the work done is delta W. I'll explain in detail why I written delta instead of D. Okay, because for the time I'm using dt, for the distance also I'm using dx, but for the work I'm using delta symbol. There is a difference between delta and D, right? So I'll tell you what is delta, what is D in coming slides. Okay, now here delta W is the work done for the movement of the piston for distance dx. For in time dt, the piston moved a distance dx due to the pressure acting P. Okay, so that work done is equals to, as just now I discussed, work done equal to force into displacement, nothing but distance moved. How to get the force? I'm having pressure. I know the area on which the pressure is acting. Therefore, so pressure is equals to force per area, and from this I can say force equal to pressure into area, right? So pressure into area of the piston or area of the cylinder, both are same only, and distance moved, right? P into A into dx. So what is A? Area of the piston. Dx is the displacement of the piston. So what is the area into distance is called nothing but volume. Volume is equals to area multiplied by the length, right? Nothing but here length is nothing but displacement here. Therefore, A into dx can be written as small displacement, so small volume, that is dV. Delta W equal to PD. What is delta W? The work required to move a piston with a small displacement dx. That's why I'm written delta W, right? So how to, let us assume I want to move the piston from inner dead center to outer dead center. The total distance is, let us say, x, right? I want to move the piston to the total distance x. What is the work required? So that is the total work done is equals to W is equals to integral, W is equals to integral delta W, that is equals to integral PdV. This is the displacement work or total work. Integral PdV. Is it is clear? Very simple, right? So work done, how we derive? By using work done definition. Work done equal to force into displacement. Here force equal to pressure into area. Area into displacement is nothing but volume. Here the displacement is very small, that's why we consider small volume dV, right? So therefore this is the only work required to move the displacement dx, but I want to move the piston through the total length x. For that I need to integrate the small work, that is W equal to integral delta W, nothing but integral PdV. Is it is clear? With this we'll
Yes,
stop
sir.
today. We'll stop today. So just we completed displacement work in the thermodynamics. Very important formula. W is equals to integral PdV, where P is the pressure acting over the piston, dV is the volume of the gas. Right.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, one second. Yes.